The first time she witnessed a naked woman gyrating on the roof of a parking garage across from the federal jail in downtown Chicago, Brianna Fitzgibbons couldn't believe what she was seeing.
I come from a town of 300 people in the middle of the fields in Minnesota, so it was weird, really weird.
As Fitzgibbons watched from her high-rise apartment nearby, and the woman on the top floor of the parking garage danced on that sultry September night, lights flickered off and on behind the narrow windows of the Metropolitan Correctional Center. That's how detainees held at the 27-story jail operated by the Federal Bureau of Prisons across the street from the parking garage show their appreciation for the strippers who performed for them. People familiar with the performances told the Chicago Sun-Times in 2017. They say the displays put on for those in the jail have gone on for years. And they don't always involve stripping, according to Fitzgibbons. Some days, the performances were strictly G-rated, she says. Once, a large group of what appeared to be family members, including children, gathered on the roof of the garage on Van Buren Street, just west of Dearborn Street. They were there for hours, waving and taking pictures and everything, Fitzgibbons says. Another day, she says she was amazed to see two nude women on the roof who appeared to be performing sex acts for the inmates.
My cousin from Minnesota was visiting me in October. She was very shocked, kind of like me. Most other people wouldn't do this kind of thing for their boyfriend.
Attorneys who represent clients held at the Metropolitan Correctional Center say they've seen the tawdry shows from their law offices in the nearby Monadnock building. They've been going on for decades, one federal source says. The detainees arrange the shows to prove they're the top dogs in the jail, another source says. Often, the women will flash money, as well as skin, to show how rich and powerful their boyfriends are, he says. Prison authorities say they can't do anything about what's going on at the parking garage. Asked about the performances, a spokesman for the Federal Bureau of Prisons, which runs the jail, says, "We are aware of the situation and have notified the owner of the property, but because it is private property, the Bureau of Prisons has no authority to remove people from the property." An executive for the company that runs the garage says he doesn't know anything about the nude displays. But a security guard was stationed atop the garage in June 2017. Thaddeus T.J. Jimenez, a well-known Chicago gang leader who was held at the federal jail downtown, says some of the garage-top shows were for him. In a brief interview, Jimenez says he didn't pay for the dances. A woman stripping on the roof for him was simply showing her love, according to Jimenez, who says she sometimes would stand on the roof of the garage holding a sign that said, "Free TJ." Jimenez won $25 million from the city of Chicago in 2012 in a wrongful conviction lawsuit, then showered millions of his winnings on expanding his gang.
On his social media sites, Thaddeus T.J. Jimenez called himself Batman and Bruce Wayne. But unlike Bruce Wayne, Jimenez used his fortune for evil. After he won $25 million in 2012, half went to his lawyers, and he showered millions of what was left on his street gang, the Simon City Royals. What really caught the attention of the police, though, was that he started expanding his gang beyond its stronghold in Albany Park and other neighborhoods on the northwest side, where the members were mostly white and Hispanic. He paid black gang members, who lived miles away on the west side, to switch sides and join his gang. Jimenez's aim wasn't to elbow his way into the lucrative drug trade on the west side, but to act like a kingpin and wage war on rival gangs for the fun of it. The pace of violence picked up not long after Jimenez created his West Side Gang in 2014, according to a Chicago Sun-Times investigation that's found that at least 19 people were shot, 4 of them killed, in the months-long battle that broke out as a result of Jimenez creating the No Love, Money Gang, what his crew of West Siders called themselves. That's when things started going haywire, says Derek House, an outreach worker for the Institute for Nonviolence Chicago on the West Side. You have all of these people dead. If you wouldn't have come down here, it probably would have been different. One cop says TJ blew up the West Side. Robert Tracy, who was chief crime strategist for the Chicago Police Department at the time, agrees. He did have a heavy role in escalating the violence in that area, says Tracy, now police commissioner of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police. It was incredible. In Chicago, they were supposed to have a reputation for being loyal to their gangs. Obviously, money changed their minds. Jimenez's early childhood was spent on the Northwest Side, the Royals base, for decades. After he got out of prison in 2009, he took over the gang, which, over the next few years, terrorized the Northwest Side, shooting and threatening people. In 2017, Jimenez was sentenced to more than 9 years in federal prison for possessing a handgun used to shoot a man in the legs in August 2015, in Irving Park. A fellow gang member named Jose Roman, riding with Jimenez, recorded the shooting on his cell phone. It's a jarring video, showing the pair listening to Ave Maria, blasting out of the speakers of Jimenez's $90,000 Mercedes-Benz convertible, and threatening bystanders on their way to the shooting. Jimenez has a nickel-plated handgun. Roman sits next to him with the chopper on deck. A police scanner in the car crackles in the background. Jimenez was arrested August 17, 2015, after pulling up to Earl Castile on Belplain Avenue in Irving Park on the Northwest Side, asking "Why shouldn't I blast you?" and then shooting him in the legs. Jimenez and Roman were arrested after Jimenez crashed his Mercedes-Benz, one of many luxury vehicles he owned, during the police chase. After he was convicted of illegal gun possession in U.S. District Court, Jimenez was moved from the federal lockup downtown, where he enjoyed watching tits and ass from a Chicago skyscraper, to the Cook County Jail, to face state charges for the shooting itself.
After Jimenez and his closest no-love, money gang, Simon City Royals members got locked up, the violence began to ebb in the West Side neighborhood, police records show. In 2017, Jimenez was sentenced to 110 months in federal prison, and Roman to 87 months after they pleaded guilty in the case to illegal gun possession. Before sentencing them, U.S. District Judge Harry Leinenweber watched the video Jose Roman made of their car ride in the shooting, and declared it shocking and Exhibit A for gun violence. Roman later pleaded guilty in Cook County Criminal Court to aggravated battery, and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He was paroled in 2022. But Jimenez's Cook County case dragged on. In part, that was because he filed an unsuccessful appeal, arguing that the state charges were unconstitutional because he already had been charged in federal court with the same underlying crime. His lawyer, Steve Greenberg, argued that this amounted to double jeopardy. In 2023, TJ was sentenced to 12 years in prison for shooting Earl Castile. Jimenez's federal and state convictions run concurrently. That means he'll have to serve 12 years from the time of his 2015 arrest. He'll get credit for the 9 years he already has spent in jail. He also could earn good time in prison that could shave 15% from his sentence. Do the math. TJ will soon be able to spend his money, if he has any left, at a real strip club, but his legal troubles will continue in civil court. Castile, the man Jimenez shot, sued him over the shooting, which left him disabled. In 2016, Castile won a $6.3 million judgment against Jimenez. But in 2021, Castile fatally shot his wife and killed himself. Now, his lawyer is continuing to try to collect the judgment on behalf of Castile's kids, according to court records. Please put some pressure on that like button. And subscribe to the Cartoon News Network for more from us.
Y'all better stop laughing. We out here, no poop party. The nicest cars y'all ever seen in your life. Oh no, bitch. Gucci man don't need out this car. Motherfucker drive yourself. You supposed to drive yourself out blind that you get straight out. Personally. Oh no, bitch. No poop party. Top down. Chopper all day. Out here. Don't get no far. Top down.